Ladies and gentlemen, how are we doing tonight? Good. Well, thank you so much for joining us here at the Millennium stage. We're so happy to have you. Tonight we present the United States Navy Band Commodores here, and here to introduce the performance is Senior Chief Musician William Mulligan. Please join me in welcoming him.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise for the singing of our national anthem with musician first class Kristine Hsia.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? And now, from Washington, D.C., under the leadership of Senior Chief William Mulligan, the United States Navy Band Commodores.
Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are the United States Navy Band Commodores, celebrating our 46th year as the Navy's premier jazz ensemble. I'm Senior Chief Bill Mulligan, and we are delighted to be back here at the Kennedy Center. Great to see all of you tonight. We got the music started with a song from all the way back in 1922. That was an early jazz classic that's been recorded by a whole host of great jazz artists through the years. That was the Limehouse Blues, and it gave us an opportunity to introduce some of the fantastic soloists in this band. Getting us started on the baritone saxophone, he's our musical director, which means he rehearses the band, he programs all of our shows. We play a different program every time we leave the Washington Navy Yard to go out and perform. Does a great job for us. How about a big hand for McLean, Virginia's own chief musician, Rob Holmes. On the alto saxophone from Pensacola, Florida, Senior Chief Steve Williams. Our dueling trumpets back there in this corner from Dundalk, Maryland, musician first class Jonathan Barnes. And from the beautiful city of Belleville, Illinois, musician first class Tim Stanley. And on the drums from Greensboro, North Carolina, musician first class Kevin McDonald. Now here in the Commodores, we feature music from all the great American big bands, but we're also very fortunate to have a number of very fine arrangers and composers within the group who are always writing new music for the band, music you can't hear anywhere else. We'd like to do one of those original compositions. Right now comes from our guitarist. This is musician first class Sean Purcell, and he calls it... He deserves a round of applause. You're going to like him even more after this song. This is entitled Sequoia. Sequoia. On the tenor saxophone from Miami, Florida, Senior Chief Musician Luis Hernandez. On bass trombone from Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania, where every day's a holiday, that is Senior Chief Matt Neff. And joining him on that solo on the double bass from Boston, Massachusetts, Chief Musician Peter Revell. The composer and guitar soloist is the first and to this point only second-generation Commodore. His father, Randy Purcell, played trombone in the original edition of this band way back in 1969. We couldn't be more pleased that he's made it a family tradition. From Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, musician first class, Sean Purcell. Now we'd like to take you back to 1959 and the Count Basie Orchestra, something composed and arranged by Ernie Wilkins for the Count Basie Band. This is entitled Kansas City Shout. Again, that's the Kansas City Shout, written by Ernie Wilkins for the Count Basie Orchestra on this beautiful Steinway piano, originally all the way from Buenos Aires, Argentina, musician first class Dan LaMaestra. And now you heard her fantastic rendition of the national anthem. At the top of our show, we're so pleased to have this vocalist with us. We found her just last fall. She was singing with the Navy's 7th Fleet Band based in Yokosuka, Japan. Managed to bring her to Washington, D.C. just in time to take her out on a national tour last November. She has been thrilling audiences everywhere we've gone ever since. Would you please welcome back to the stage musician first class Kristine Hsia.
The falling leaves by my window, the autumn leaves are red and gold. I see your lips, the summer kisses, the something hands I used to hold. Since you went away, the days grow long. Soon I'll hear winter song, but I'll miss you most of all, my darling, when autumn leaves start to fall. The falling leaves drip on our window, the autumn leaves are red and gold. I see your lips, the summer kisses, the sunburned hands I used to hold. Since you went away, the days grow long. Soon I'll hear old winter song, but I'll miss you most of all, my darling, when autumn leaves start to fall. Musician first class, John Since you went away, the days grow long. Soon I'll hear winter song, but I'll miss you most of all, my darling, when autumn leaves start to fall. Start to fall. Start to fall. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That last tune was called Autumn Leaves, and it was arranged by and featured on trumpet musician first class John Barnes in the back. And tap, tap, tapping away on that drum set, that was musician first class Kevin McDonald. Next up, we have got a tune that was originally by Nancy Wilson and George Shearing. It was arranged by musician first class Thomas Eby. We're going to slow things down a little bit with All Night Long.
Never felt the softness of his tender kiss. Don't know if he's weak or strong. All I know is he's in every dream I dream all night long. Never heard him speak a single word of love. Never knew his favorite song. 'Cause he only speaks to me in dreams I dream all night long. When I sleep, he tells me he's in love with me and how much he needs me to be near. But at best a dream is just a fantasy. When I touch his hand, he'll disappear. No, 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 no. I don't want a love that's just a memory. Fate, how could you be so wrong? Now I've got to find the man who's haunting me all night When I sleep, he tells me he's in love with me and how much he needs me to be near. But at best, a dream is just a fantasy. When I touch his hand, he'll disappear. No, I don't want a love that's just a memory. Fate, how could you be so wrong? Oh, now I've got to find a man who's haunting me.
featured on saxophone as Master Chief musician Philip Millennium. And now I'd like to leave you with a tune that was originally performed by Ella Fitzgerald and Washington's own Duke Ellington. This is Imagine My Frustration.
Went down to the dance. I sat down by the wall, invited to dance, but no one at all. The couples danced by, so charming and gay. To the crowd, a tiptoe and alert. The band blew and fell, but mixed on the flirt. A voice said to me, "Wallflower, my dear, how come you can't see? You're not wanted here. Now you gonna rest. You're just a mess. You're in excess and in that dress. Imagine my frustration with no invitation. My frustration with no invitation. My frustration with no invitation to dance.
Thank you so much. And how about a hand for our fearless leader, Senior Chief Musician Bill Mulligan.
Ladies and gentlemen, isn't she something? Musician first class Kristine Hsia.
Thank you.
If you like what you're hearing tonight, and we certainly hope you do, we'd like to let you know how you can get free recordings of the Navy Band Commodores as well as all of the other units of the United States Navy Band in Washington, D.C. Back at the historic Washington Navy Yard, in addition to the group you see here tonight, we have a great concert and ceremonial band. We have a fabulous chorale called the Sea Chanters. We have the best country and bluegrass group you'll ever hear called the Country Current, and a great top 40 band called the Cruisers. You can download free recordings of all of those groups as well as the Commodores simply by visiting our website. The web address is www.navyband.navy.mil. Don't worry if you can't remember that. If you do a web search for Navy Band, those two words, we are still the very first thing that pops up. Lots of free music. We'd love it if you took advantage of that. While you're there, you may also view upcoming performance schedules for all the units of the band. I know we have some people from out of town. We all go on a national tour once a year. In fact, the Commodores will be heading out on the road the end of October. We'd love to see you wherever you do live. If you are in the area, we do free concerts just like this throughout the year, throughout the area. And as I mentioned earlier, the Commodores always play a different program, so I promise every time you come hear us, you'll always hear something you haven't heard before. You can follow us on Facebook as well. You can follow us on Twitter. We have a great publication that our Public Affairs Office puts out every other month called the Fanfare. You can sign up to receive that on the website. You can also receive email alerts. We will let you know every time we drive the truck out of the Navy Yard. We'll tell you where we're going, so you can follow the Commodores in many ways. If you'd like to take home a copy of the Fanfare as a souvenir tonight, please come up to the bandstand. A few members of the band will be available immediately after the show. They'd love to give you a copy of that to take home with you. Now, we'd like to go back to the music of Count Basie. You know, Count Basie had all the best writers writing for his band. We did a little Ernie Wilkins earlier. Now we'd like to do something that was arranged for the band by the one and only Quincy Jones. We're going to invite musician first class Ben Ford out to the front. Arranged by Quincy Jones, this is the Count Basie version of The More I See You. Wow. From Coatesville, Pennsylvania, musician first class, Ben Ford. The More I See You. There's only a few members of the ensemble you've not yet met tonight. Before we go any further, I'd like to take just a moment and introduce them to you, let you know where they're from. Starting with our sound man, he does such a great job for the band. No matter where we go, he gets the sound just right. That is Senior Chief Peter Checkeye from Niagara Falls, New York, back there. And while we're looking that way, could you please thank the rest of the crew here at the Kennedy Center and Millennium Stage? They put shows on 365 days a year. It's wonderful. Thanks a lot. Back there on lead trumpet from Phoenix, Arizona, playing all those high notes, that is musician first class Nick Cooper. On trombone from Hemet, California, chief musician Jennifer Krupa. And finally, if you would please indulge us with an extra special round of applause for this last gentleman, because he's on loan from the Navy Band Concert Band. He's up here sight reading all of this music, doing us a favor. I haven't heard a wrong note yet. Always great to have him with the band. From Ashland, Kentucky, musician first class, Andy Skaggs. Now, as I mentioned at the top of the show, we're very fortunate to have a number of very fine arrangers and composers. You heard a little bit of the music from musician first class John Barnes. He's been quite prolific in his 3 years in the band. We'd like to do something else that he arranged for the Commodores. This comes from a classic recording by Freddie Hubbard. The album was entitled Red Clay. The song is Sweet Sue. Once again, on the piano, MU1 Dan LaMaestra. On the trumpet, musician first class Tim Stanley. Tenor saxophone from Baltimore, Maryland, Master Chief musician Philip Berlin. And the arranger, such a talented writer, MU1 John Barnes. Your United States Navy operates forward, on watch around the world, around the clock, ready to protect and defend America's interests at home or abroad. We are very proud to serve as musicians in America's Navy. You know, there's quite a legacy here. I mentioned at the top of the show, we're celebrating our 46th year as the Navy's premier jazz ensemble. The band was founded in 1969. But if you go back even further than that, the Navy's dance band during World War II was led by none other than Chief Petty Officer Artie Shaw, famed big band clarinetist and band leader. Some of you know that name. So we're very proud to be in the Navy playing this great American music. And now, to close out our show, we'd like to ask, by show of hands, do we have any veterans here? Thank you for your service. We're going to finish our program now by paying tribute to you, our veterans. We're going to play the service songs, the songs associated with each branch of the armed forces. When you hear your song, please stand up and be recognized. If you have a family member who served or is serving in that branch, please stand up as well. We'll all thank you with a round of applause. In closing, here's our Armed Forces salute.
The United States Coast Guard. The Marine Corps. The United States Air Force. The United States Army. The United States Navy.
Thank you, veterans. Ladies and gentlemen, the United States Navy Band Commodores. Thank you very much. You've been a great audience. We'll see you next time. Good night.